Welcome to the Game of Risk, everyone. I'm your host, OliveXC, a top player at this game, and today we are doing Tutor Tuesday, where I review a subscriber game and help them and you, the viewer, get better at the game of Risk. If you are interested in submitting a game for Tutor Tuesday, check the description down below. I have a video that explains how you can submit something to me. Our protagonist today is OliveXC, a low grandmaster ranked Risk player that has his own YouTube channel. Be sure to check him out if you are interested, guys. He is the purple player in this game. And we can see the majority of your troops are located in Asia, but obviously you're not going for a no Asia, no win strategy. You also have a lot of troops located within South America, but this position does not work very well for you because the black player has most troops there. Your best possible option would probably be Europe, especially as the yellow player moved their troops out, and you're immediately recognizing this. You're also prioritizing moving your troops away from North America, as we notice that the orange player currently is recognizing this. The yellow player obviously is going for the Australia play, given what they had, and we can see our protagonist right here. Don't worry, in future videos that he's on, he moves his camera over to the left hand side so you guys can see the territories of player 4. But hey, it's kind of like we're doing a dual commentary right now. I'm immediately noticing that the orange player is a little bit of a weaker player because they're doing a 2v1. These are very, very unlikely to be succeeding. They're not putting the majority of their troops in North America because that's clearly the content they should go for. Leaving troops in Africa isn't really doing that much for them. And it's going to really be antagonizing the black player. Generally, the North American player and the South American player should be very good allies if they want to reach their own objectives. In a 4-player situation like this, when people are able to get continents, the standard best theory if a game tends to stabilize is one player owns South America and Africa. This case would probably be black. One player owns North America. This would probably be orange. One player holds Europe, which case will be you, and one player holds Australia and just probably loses first. Of course, things get more dynamic. So you're just prioritizing right now, moving your troops over, and now you move things away from Greenland, allowing orange to take it, which I think is working really well for you. And you did a nice technique as well, where you try to signify to the yellow player who you're allied with that they need to move their 5 out of the way, hopefully to the Middle East territory. If they're able to do this, then you should be able to take Europe within a couple of turns and then be in a really, really good spot right here. You're currently last in troops because you don't have a continent right now and you haven't attacked a little bit, but it's nothing that you can't recover from. The yellow player on their turn gets some very, very lucky rolls, only losing I think 2, attacking 6 territories. Again, the fact that they're not allying with you, they're just attacking haphazardly, shows them to me that they're a weak player, and I would just be aware of certain tendencies when it comes to weak players. Notice immediately they put borders on against the black player. This shows that they don't really understand the point of diplomacy. I would leave a minor guard around 3 to 4 troops, but frankly, if the orange player wants to attack me, they're going to do it regardless, so I just need to be a little bit careful when working with them. Now, I like what you're doing right here. You're really using the alliance feature in this game very well. You're constantly reinforcing to yellow that they need to move their troops. They do a kind of annoying thing where they leave their troops here, and it makes it so you can't fortify your 5 in, but they do the most important thing, moving their main troops over, which is what's key. You do something interesting right here where you're doing a multiple guard across all of your territories. However, yellow has already shown a desire to work with you, which is why they gave you Europe. And the black player, again, why they're already dealing with the orange player who has made an aggressive move towards them, so why would they be attacking you? You want to leave maybe 2s on your borders, but In general, in this type of position, I would leave a larger stack here in Iceland because, again, the orange player has been very antagonistic. And then maybe the rest of your army down in the middle of Europe, or if you want to keep it available in the Ukraine, like right here, to give yourself more options and abilities to attack. Doing this multiple split right here will weaken your total armies and your ability to attack around the map in case some player overattacks. Probably the orange player is going to be making a mistake attacking someone, again, because they're not allying with you. They're attacking haphazardly, again, like making multiple attacks, moving around like right here when they should have been leaving troops here in the first place. It's clear that they're going to be making mistakes. One thing I would consider doing on your turn right away is with your 8, I would immediately move like 5 of those troops and just leave like a 3 right here to try to diffuse tensions as much as possible with the orange player, and just like leave troops down in like the Eastern Europe area or Western Europe. If they happen to hit you, well, then you hit them back at that point because you know where it stands. But doing this multiple thing where you're trying to defend all of your borders, when blue has shown to be a pretty competent player and yellow has made a significant move allying with you, I don't think is the smartest way like to be spending your troops. You unfortunately get a no set on 4, but given that you're at around 40 troops right now, it's not worth it for any player to eliminate you. So if there's any game where you're going to be having some bad luck, this is going to be the game right here. And we can see overall, since there was pretty good stability, we're reaching the good theoretical point like in this game. Ideally, what should happen now, and I stress this like a lot in games, in very, very passive games like this, where there's not a lot of attacking back and forth and people get their ideal continents, the Australian player loses in these games. What people should do is that one person leaves their troops on the Middle East, one player, the European player, leaves their troops on the Ukraine, the North American player leaves all their troops on Kamchatka, and then the Australian player is completely trapped. They just can't do anything at this time. Yellow has been making a nice move with their Australia leaving their 11 like open, like they can go upwards attacking here, upwards attacking this way. They're not just doing a pure turtle strategy. So in case people are making like a big move to attack, people can react accordingly to it. I would consider, if I was yellow, possibly getting aggressive at this time. If I just stay very, very passive, all the other players on the board will be out expanding me. And with this higher expansion, like with more troops, means that eventually they can be eliminated, and that will maintain the balance of the game. Balance being, no one has more troops than both other players combined, and no one's getting more troops than all the other players combined. Now we can see right here, because when you have an open pathway, you're just moving everything back over to your Australia area. Like, attack a couple of like extra territories, but not the end of the world right here. You're grouping everything together. Honestly, and if you just left like a 27 right here, I think that would have been like a lot stronger play. Or again, just leaving everything like on Ukraine. Like, if yellow wanted to invade you, they were going to do that whether you have like a 15s on your border right here, or like a 3 and like a 20. The goal is you want to avoid losing a significant number of troops that could potentially have the players turn on you and eliminate you. You want to maintain like strong like diplomacy, and sometimes leaving like a light border with like very little things guarding just tends to diffuse tensions and make people really work together well. And now the board is reaching a good point of stability. So it's really going to be on the yellow player to do something, I think, to kind of shake things up. They need to attack one of you. They need to be attacking either orange, you, or black, because again, if they're all getting this many troops per turn, your guys are just going to lose. So this is when the yellow player makes a nice move. They trade in everything right here, and they start attacking around the map, defending their borders. So now look, you see like they're just attacking around, and now they do something crazy right here. They end up doing a 13v15. I think they kind of messed up their fortifications a little bit. Like if they're going to attack the 15, I would have put everything there. But now I think we make a critical mistake in the game on your end. You're continuing to defend your borders here, but again, why would black attack you? They've been your ally all game. Why would yellow attack you? They just attacked the orange player right here. You barely defend your borders right here, and because you thought that orange would be attacking yellow, but again, orange is a bad player, so they're most likely going to be attacking you more instead. And look, when there's like a 17 right there, orange is like less likely to attack it. You have like an antagonistic 10 like towards them right here. Yellow has like a smaller stack towards them, and clearly showing something towards Asia. I would have probably stacked everything possible on my Iceland, and by stacking everything there, this would have told orange player with their set to stack on Alaska and then hit the yellow player right here instead. This would make it harder for the yellow player to be able to successfully take and hold the Asia continent. And now you want to be weak right here. I mean, orange is also weak because again, they're not handling like the aggression well when someone was like attacking their borders. Recognizing when a player is strong versus when a player is weak and knowing when to use the alliances in your favor is kind of like key. That would have allowed you to notice like that stacking as much as possible in Iceland to deter an attack from orange and have them go into yellow. It would be good. It would continue to cause tension between them, and unless yellow is like a master to grandmaster ranked player, it's really unlikely that they would say, oh, the orange player, the purple player was attacking me because they over defended their border against orange, causing orange to attack me. Like, most players don't think that level. They just think to the level of, oh, orange attacked me, I must attack them back. I'm yellow player. But as the orange player kind of goes, like we can see right here, black's now attacking them. Like the board's ganging up on orange, which is, honestly, I think this makes sense. Generally, weaker players should go because orange doesn't understand like diplomacy, like working with other people. They only think about themselves, protecting their borders. They're just a new player. They don't, what you should be doing in North America, if you're not going to be doing like the strategy of everybody hits the Australian and Asia player, is you leave generally a 2 border, one on Western and Eastern United States to guard against the South American player, and then one on this territory right here to guard against the Asia player going into Alaska, and the European player going into Greenland right here. Because they're just trying to guard one border at a time. They can't guard all of them, they just lack enough troops, where now you can see they're very, very weak. The black player on their turn, what they should be doing right now is smacking the orange player. Because look, you see that yellow has like an 18. If they just leave a 16 right here, which is like the weakest border, orange is going to hit it. They did it with you before, and they're gonna probably do it again. So I think this is a mistake of the black player. Because in orange's case, like if they were to just trade in right here, they're the weakest player. The weakest player can't be attacking like one of the stronger ones. But again, they don't understand theory. They're just attacking like crazy. They now have lost a significant number of troops, and now the 3 of you are all very, very equal. But look at yellow. Yellow is now holding Asia. And this is a little bit disconcerting right here, because given that the orange player doesn't understand balance like at all, and they'll just attack like anyone and anyone that bothers them, the balance of the game is really close to being broken at this time. You own Europe, and the black player owns Africa, and together, 2 of you are getting 14 troops collectively between yourselves. The yellow player is holding Asia, Australia +3, so they're getting 12 per turn. So it's almost breaking in their favor. The real worry is that if orange decides to hit another one of you, it's possible that because again, orange is at 27 troops, they can do a lot of damage. They turn in a set and they decide to hit someone really hard, taking them down 20 troops. Yellow can go on a full all-out offensive, but potentially take out one of the other players, chain in orange, and then take the game right here. A weak player can be very dangerous. A lot of my fastest games on this channel occur when a weak player makes a silly mistake and suicides on someone else. So orange is now attacking like back and forth, and they're trying to think about where to fortify to, and they make a kind of advanced move, fortifying everything down into Central America, and they're probably going to be hitting black right here. Yellow here doesn't need to be doing anything. Like, they have more troops than all players and are getting really, really strong right now. Like, look at this, 100 troops. The balance of the game is almost getting broken right here if both you and black have some like bad luck with Dradens. All yellow needs to do is keep taking 1 card per turn and avoid changing the balance of the game. If they really wanted to, they can eliminate orange, but in this case, given that orange has not shown any antagonistic moves towards them, why would they change anything? I think what they're doing is a great move. Now, you do something very interesting right here. You decide to go and try to eliminate the orange player, and you lose 21 right here, which is a gosh darn horrible roll. And you're doing this because you want to have diplomacy with the black player. You then make one kind of unnecessary attack right here, and then group everything back here, again with multiple guards. You do give at least a 1 attack, so in case if someone wants to attack you, you're not going to lose like a large amount of territory. What you're hoping happens right here is that black trades in, they go on their 11, and then they attack outwards into yellow, breaking them. And you're really worried about this because yellow is getting so many troops, and they could potentially soon be breaking the balance of the game right here. And you can't do anything right now, right? Because since you took a very aggressive move, eliminating the orange player from the game, you're at 50 troops. You're the weakest player. You cannot attack the strongest. What needs to happen here to advance the game is that the yellow player, who's being like a little bit more passive and just happens to be holding Asia, needs to be aggressively kind of hitting you because you really can't do anything to them. If they like stacked everything here and attacked you, the game would just be about over right here because none of your other troops can retaliate into them. I honestly think the yellow player kind of messed up like holding Asia, and it's crazy how long they've been able to get the advantage out of this, and Asia game is very weird and kind of exciting to see. Black player has a nice number right here, and I think what this all boils down to at this time is you should not have been the one eliminating orange. Black should have been the one eliminating orange because black had more troops than you at the time. If you had the second, for a lot of like my master and grandmaster players that submit games to me, I find that one of the biggest things that's kind of separate like an intermediate from expert understands like diplomacy, getting confidence like slowly, versus like a master to grandmaster is the ability to really influence your games. The concept of influence is instead of just taking 1 card passively per turn and hoping that have everyone else kill each other so then you can just swoop in and win the game, you're actively making moves to cause conflicts because you understand player dynamics and diplomacy at an advanced level, allowing you to decide the overall flow of the game. However, no matter how good you are, if you're like the weakest player, there's minimal moves that you will be able to make. If you had just allowed the orange player to be attacking the black player instead, or forcing black to react, then you would have the second most amount of troops, and you could have made the move attacking the yellow player aggressively and starting off a chain of events where you guys both work together on making an attack. This also works from a very theoretical standpoint. Generally, it's easier for 2 players going back to back to be attacking the third player in a line, because if you make the first attack with initiative and align it with the black player, and then the black player reciprocates, then now you get the confirmation bias that you need in order to make that attack against yellow, and you guys can both keep working together in that sense. Because again, while the game's not being broken, yellow missed an opportunity when you were a little bit weaker of just putting a tremendous like number of troops down on like the Middle East, Ukraine, then just smacking you really, really hard. So you're continuing to try to tell black to be making the attack. You're really using the alliance feature in a good way right here. You're currently flustered because you think that yellow's about to win the game because again, they can just park their troops in Ukraine and like you're just going to be screwed. But you finally move your troops out of the way. This allows black, instead of hitting like the strong 60 territory, they are able to hit the 40 territory. So you're finally doing some moves to get like the game going. While you're missing like a lot of like potential kind of like dynamics from a late game strategic standpoint, the ability for you to use like the alliance feature to influence the game like in your favor, we can see right here, like a lot of stress is kind of leaving your face. This shows why you're a grandmaster player, and shows like just because someone owns Asia doesn't mean that they're going to win the game. The power of alliances is just incredible, as it allows you to really work together to really get the game like in your favor. Yellow on their turn just wants things to go back to the status quo. Again, they're probably beginner and intermediate. They're just trying to get as many continents as they can. And now look, they're now breaking black everywhere. Black makes a good move. When you attack someone, you want to move as far away as possible to try to diffuse tensions. They get broken everywhere though. But at the very least, our main stack hasn't been broken and the balance is maintained. And you make a good move here. You attack yellow quickly, and you're, again, maintaining the balance of the game while still showing that you want to work with the yellow player and then immediately move far away while leaving your army able to attack. So now the black player goes, and they're very, very angry. They smack yellow down. And now you're able to take the game right here. So I think overall, Rexity, you gave a really, really good game at this time. I think it's just important for you to recognize when a player is being very, very weak, like orange, to kind of like over defend your borders. And because again, weak players will just attack the weakest border available to them. Making them get into a conflict with yellow early game would have helped. Eliminating orange, I think, was a little bit of a mistake. You should have let black get attacked, so that way, as an advanced player, you can influence the game by having the maximum number of troops to attack your main threat, which is yellow. Yellow lost the opportunity to win this game because they did not aggressively attack you, parking their troops in the Ukraine, preventing them from being able to do anything. So now we'll be able to wrap up this game and see you win everything. And if you guys are enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. I love making these videos for all of you, and I want to keep pushing our subscriber count as high as we can, making the best content that we can. And make sure you follow me on Twitch. My link is in the description below. I try to stream a couple of times a week now. We'll be able to see my games that I'll be preparing for YouTube live with everybody. But with that, we can see you wrapping up this game strongly right here. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day. And this is OliveXC and Rexity. Check them out in the description. Signing off.